Hi everybody, a video on the GF3, which is the ANI. It's a cheap minigun. It's designed, as far as I know, it's just like a cheap basic gun, but it's very similar to the ANI R150 or R160. You know, the components, a lot of them aren't interchangeable. It's you can tell it's a lot cheaper made. But you know, you would dismiss it as being a cheap, horrible gun. So for me, I needed another 100ml pot, and it takes the same pots as the R150 and R160. So I thought, well, the pots are about £9, £9.50, and the whole gun, this whole gun's about £27, which is about $38 at the moment. So I thought, well, if I need a pot, I knew it come with a 100ml pot, and I was pretty sure it'd be the same pot as used on the R150, which it is. So you end up getting a gun, if you want the pot, for about £18–19. Anyway, enough of that. So the whole gun with a pot, 100ml pot, is about £27, which is about $40 at the moment, something like that. So I thought it'd be worth giving it a go to get the pot and to get the gun and give it a try. So when I looked at it, it's actually not that bad. I didn't think it was bad at all when you look at the way it's made. I did I've done an unboxing video, which I will upload before this, but so that you can see the unboxing video if you need to, where I take the tip off and things like that. And it's actually quite well made. I'm quite happy with it at that sort of price range. And I just did a pair of fork legs because I had another pair of fork legs to do. I did a pair, the same set of fork legs. Another pair came along, so I'm doing those in exactly the same colour, same base coat, so that I can compare the two afterwards. And obviously I'm narrating this afterwards, so I can tell you now that it sprayed every bit as good as the ANI R150. So you know, it is a cheap gun, but it actually sprays alright. So what I'm trying to say, I think, is if you're a guy at home and you've got a compressor and you want to do, I don't know, some, well, in this case, cycle fork, cycle frame, little repairs to your car, motorcycle stuff and things like that, and you can't justify the £100 or whatever for the ANI R150, then buying something like this is a really good idea, because it really comes out well. And literally, I've got the two sets of forks together. You can see the others. I've got like a toolbox there. You can see them just at the top. You can see the other set of forks, and I compare them afterwards, and they look exactly the same to me. So it sprays really, really well. So I'm just doing a couple of base coats with it. You can see the amount that's coming out. It's you know, it's got a very good spray on it, and there's no the pattern's good. It's not you know, you can get, sometimes you get like top heavy, bottom heavy, middle heavy or whatever. The pattern is really good, and it's just as good as the R150 as far as the pattern goes. It's probably not going to last as long, you know, I admit that, but they do a service kit for it, which is about £5.50, something like that, which includes a couple of the springs, the spring inside the trigger, you know, return spring for the needle. It takes exactly the same front sealing washer on the fluid tip as on the R150. It's designed to be sprayed at about 1.5 bar, they say, but I was using it at just under 2. And you'll see it works absolutely fine. Now, I don't normally use a gauge, but the real drawback with this gun is that there's no pressure adjustment on the gun itself, so that bit's missing. So you know, that's obviously one of the savings they're making. So if you've got a pressure regulator that you can bolt on the end of your gun, then that effectively takes the price of it, which is why you'll see one on the end of mine there. I've bolted one on there just so that I can adjust the pressure if necessary. I don't think I did. I normally put the pressure up a little bit more for the clear coat than for the base coat. So it just allows you to adjust it up a little bit, and you just get a bit of a smoother finish, particularly for the last, you know, the final top coat covering. But that's the only drawback really, is the fact that it doesn't have that adjuster. But as I say, if you've got a pressure regulator or cheater valve or whatever people call them that you can put at the bottom, then that's absolutely fine. Or you can adjust it to the compressor, but it's not so easy then, because you have to go back to the pressure compressor or whatever when you want to turn it up or down. So this is the clear coat, first stage of clear coat. You can see how much that little spray I just did, a little test spray, you can see how much I'm looking to get to come out of it. So it's a lighter coat at first, normal way really, a lighter tap coat at first, and then a good full coat afterwards. Forks aren't as bad as a frame in that you can move the forks around, and when you're moving an object around, the chance of it running are much less, because it's not staying in one position where you can get the lacquer starts to sag because you put a little bit too much on. Because you're continually revolving it, you can normally put a reasonable amount on and get away with it, whether it's, you know, warm, cold, or what it is. The warmer the better, because it will go off quicker. But you know, that's just the basics in whatever you do. But certainly you'll find forks, because you're holding it in one hand, you can move the forks around and you get less of a chance of it running. So this is just a tack coat, the first coat of lacquer, and you'll see now I'm about to start. Obviously you take the drying stages out in between, so that's the amount I'm putting on. But you can see it's a good spray pattern, there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't come out, you know, bad at all. And this is a high solids clear, so it's thicker than a base coat, but it's worked absolutely fine with all of it. And you know, as best you can tell on camera, I think you'll agree, it's come out really well for what is you know, a £28 or $40 gun. So you know, if you're looking for an ANI R150 but you can't afford one, this is definitely a gun to try. And I think it will last reasonably well as well. It's not a machined, it looks like it's just a cast piece of a metal, and then, you know, the parts that need to be brought out and fitted are, whereas the R150 is a proper machined unit. But you know, I think it's going to last okay, and for the amount of money you're paying, as I say, it's ideal for somebody that doesn't normally do much spraying, and he might have a bike to do or something, and he doesn't want to use spray cans. You know, because using a spray gun allows you much more advantages to you know, what different components, what different fluids and that you can use. So I hope you've enjoyed it anyway. As you can see, it's come up really well, and it's literally the first time of using it. So I think it's definitely a brilliant budget gun, and recommended really. All right, well, thanks for watching. Cheers, bye bye.